Hey, it's Mr. Roboto back again with another very quick video today. So today I'm going to talk about relative strength and how I use relative strength, plus looking at the indices to find potential trades to take throughout the day. Um, Today we took a trade on Facebook calls, ended up being a very good win. Very simple analysis. It was all mainly just looking at the relative strength of Facebook. All right, let's go take a look at the trade. All right, here's NQ, right? So as you can see, NQ overall was showing, it was pretty weak this today compared to the previous 2 days where it ripped up. Today it was kind of just basing around, bouncing around from this 15-minute demand zone that I had drawn. Eventually, it did make its way up today, but essentially this was the price action on NQ. Well, Facebook obviously was showing a lot of relative strength, right? From the morning, it just straight up ripped. Let's go back a couple days. So you can see here a lot of relative strength, but this morning it just straight up ripped compared to the price action from NQ, which didn't really do anything this morning, right? It actually dipped pretty hard this morning, right? Well, when I see something like this, and if I miss the move, right, I'm always like, this is always on the top of my list for potentially taking an entry at a pullback, right? Especially when it's showing so much relative strength to the overall market, right? Well, I'll show you exactly where I ended up taking calls was right here where the indices was, basing. It looked like it was going to potentially break through and, potentially dip further. Well, but at exactly around 11:10, the indices NQ just straight up ripped right at 11:10, right? Well, if you look at something like Facebook, which is again showing relative strength, at 11:10 it was pulling back, right? You can kind of see the move here a little bit. It's sort of following a little bit of what the indices were doing, right? Just look at this action here. Well, it's the same as this, right? Just in a different scale, right? You know, so Facebook goes up and then comes down, and then it goes up and then it comes down again, forming this essentially a double bottom right. Well, that's essentially what the NQ is doing too, just again at a different scale, right? Goes down, goes down, and it goes up, and it does another double, forms the double bottom here. Same thing as this on Facebook, but it's just again at a different scale. Well, what you can see here though, like I said, at 11:10, NQ started ripping up, right? Well, at 11:10 here on Facebook, you can see it's still down here, right? It's forming hammers from, this area that it's bouncing from. It's forming hammer candles, but it hasn't made the same sort of rip up that NQ was doing, you know? So at 11:10, if I see something like this where Facebook is lagging the overall indices on this move up, and it has shown relative strength. Well, what that tells me, there's a good chance that people are going to come back in here and they're going to bring Facebook up with the market, right? So ended up taking calls on Facebook right around 11:10, and it ended up holding. We got pretty good. Scaled some here, scaled some here, and then I held the rest for. I ended up having a stop loss that ended up getting hit right around here. But this was still a great trade. I came in thinking that this was just going to be a scalp, so I told my Discord around 11:20, hey, I'm scalping Facebook here off of Apple and NQ push. So I didn't show you here, but Apple also pushed up at this same time. Let's pull up Apple. So if you see Apple here at 11:10 on Apple, right here. So 11:10 on Apple, Apple was pushing up also, right? So when I see this move on, something that's leading, a large ticker that's a part of NQ, and then NQ itself is breaking out, and then something that's shown relative strength has yet to break out. That's a potentially good edge, right? Not really a supply and demand analysis here, but it's all just playing off of relative strength and playing off of the indices, right? Um, so again, scalping Facebook here off of Apple and NQ push. It was lagging, so I took some. Here's the calls I ended up taking. I took 335 for a Friday expiration. And then, just scaled along the way. Got 25% here. Eventually, we got as high as 45% was actually my best scales, right? Right around here, 45%. I put a stop loss for my remaining third, and it ended up getting hit right around here. Still a really good trade, for a very quick analysis, right? Okay, well, if you want to learn more about stuff like this and other strategies that I use, there's always my website at www.supplyanddemandzones.com. And if you like this video, you learned anything, please subscribe, comment, and like the video. And I'll see you guys at the next one. Thanks.